guard for human life. Hand down, man down.
Yeah, I can see how disrespectful he's being right now.
No, I went to Temecula and brought you some dirt.
Yeah, that's a technical.
Mama, there goes that man.
Welcome back to The Bounce, brought to you by Bite Size Sports. With you, as always, the trifecta. It's myself, Kev, Keebler right here to my left. Look at this. And James down here. Guys, I got it right. We're off to a great start. Keebler, we're going to start with you. How are you doing, sir? Any action you're watching on the there's a lot of NBA games tonight. You got money down?
Yeah, I'm really hoping the Knicks don't choke to the 76ers right now. That's a big one I'm watching. But we're up 11 with like 6 minutes left, so I think we should be fine. In terms of that, the Nets let me down. I love betting against RJ Barrett's team now. It's not working out in my favor. And one team that I'm looking at doubling down on is the Mavericks and the Clippers. When they both come in at plus odds, I'm probably going to slam both of those, throw like 25 on it.
Ooh, okay. I like that. I, too, am watching, especially since you pointed out the Pacers are still nursing a lead against the Pistons. It looks like they're going to hold on, but what's up? Only mistakes in the chat. Shout out. Clout Route crew in the mix. James, you, sir, I believe, had quite a night last night.
I did.
Different kind of basketball action, sir, right? How was your trip?
I went to the IU Nebraska game last night. Went and saw Nate's boys, and it was great for my squad. Not so great for Nate's team. I view this. Let's zoom in here a little bit. I'm gonna be able to see these stats just a little bit better.
Yeah, poor Nate and I are Hoosiers fans. Now I will say, Nate ranks higher in the fandom, but the Hoosiers, unfortunately, boys, that's my NCAA squad as well. So this one hurt.
It's a tough one. They Woodson sucks. He's gonna get fired this year. He sucks. Got to talk about my boy Keisei Tamanaga. His over was 15.5. Clank City on his first three. Not looking good, like bad three. It's like, not great. Next one, step back, going left, buckets, scores 18 in the first half, goes over in the first half. The Huskers up 20.5. IU got it down to 3 in the second half, got it close. But we closed out business. IU sucks. Nebraska doesn't. Nebraska is probably going to the NCAA tournament this year as long as they don't drop a really stupid one down the stretch.
Okay. All right. I dig the reporting. A follow-up question. How did you feel about the atmosphere? Now, I don't know if that was your first time down there, but how was it?
It is not my first time because I played there one year. We played Archie's first game. We upset him. Atmosphere was all right. The upper deck, not full at all. Fans booing by halftime.
Ooh.
Not great. A lot of sad pandas over there. A lot of San Loser fans. The losers were out yesterday. A lot of sad people.
No, didn't get to yell "Who's your daddy" last night. That's
no. They came back in the second half and they got loud, and then they missed a corner three to tie it, and immediately blew an assignment on defensive end. The Huskers buried a three, and then it was game over.
Well, although that is a bummer, I am excited about it's February 22nd, boys. It is almost time for March Madness. I know we'll be talking about it a little bit more, especially once March Madness is in full swing. We'll definitely talk about the big stories on that. But are you guys avid watchers of the tournament? Now, I take that first day off. Oh, it's like a holiday for me. I'm not working that day. I don't know. Are you guys the same?
Does anyone know what the day is this year, or do they not come out with it until the seeding's announced?
It is. I'll give you it right now, Keebler.
That way I can make sure to take off work for it.
Woodson has to be gone after this year, right?
Yeah, he's out. He's gone. 2024. Selection Sunday is March 17th, which means the first day of the tournament is the 21st and 22nd of March. It's a week. It feels like it's a week later this year, I think.
Let's April Madness, baby. Let's go.
Yep.
I love it. Is
Yeah,
it a
it's gonna
Thursday,
be fun.
Friday, right?
Oh, yeah. It's holiday, national holiday.
I
Yeah,
just
normally I work-
realized I might be working that Friday.
Not
Every
me.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I work, but they don't have the schedule published for it yet. So I'm going to definitely make sure to take that one off.
Ooh. I'm going to have to add it to my PTO request, guys. Actually, we don't usually make this joke this time of year, but footballs, they bounce too, guys. And I have some breaking news. I'm going to break it right here on the bounce.
Oh, boy.
I will be at the first 2 days of the Combine, Thursday and Friday in Indianapolis, covering it for Bite Size Sports, baby. Oh, what's up? Parking Tigers in the chat. What's up? Thank you. Appreciate you.
Going to the Combine.
Cloud Crew's rolling deep tonight. That's right.
Mhm.
Eggs in the chat, baby. Yeah, we'll be at the Combine. Be visiting our dear friend Nate, so I'll try not to bring up yesterday's debacle, but yeah, we will be there, and I'm going to have to stash a couple extra PTO days for that NCAA tournament. But, gentlemen, one thing I am glad that I saved my money on was a trip to Indianapolis this last weekend because, oh, God, the All-Star Weekend, you used to be somebody. How'd you guys enjoy any part of that? Keebs, we'll start with you. Did you watch any of this? If so, did you have a highlight, favorite part?
I thought the 3-point contest was pretty electric for everyone to score over 20 points. That was pretty impressive. Not exactly who I wanted to win. Obviously, Brunson was in that contest and just came up just short of a tiebreaker. But overall, I think that was probably my favorite highlight. That was
I think we got that echo fix there.
That was me. My bad. That was on me.
Oh, no, you're all good, brother. Keeps, did you have anything else there?
I mean, I have some complaints, but do you want me to save? Do you want me to save that, or you want me to go in on it right now?
Yeah, we'll see. James, was there a highlight that did you have something that you really enjoyed from the weekend before we shit all over it?
I think the 3-point contest is the best event they have, and the rest of it can just go away.
Yeah, I have some suggestions too.
Yeah, 3-point. I love the 3-point contest. Big fan of 3-point contests.
People on my Twitter have already seen my big suggestion. I love Kent's got a great suggestion here, guys. I see nothing wrong with this. All-star question: why not make East-West? Whoever wins gets home court in the finals. every player on both teams are in the playoffs right now. Yeah, that's why I was laughing, because I just remember as a baseball fan just always hating that, just like, oh God, how it came down to the All-Star game. So personally, I'm good on that. I would, I've already said my piece a couple of different times, but I will talk about it here in a minute. But I'm with you guys. The 3-point contest is the only thing worth keeping at this point. I think the dunk contest should be replaced with a game of horse. That would at least be more creative, and people might be more willing to miss. And then you don't have to worry about a stupid judging system. The dunk contest needs to be put on ice for several years, and so that we can want it to come back, and then maybe some high caliber players might want to get back into it. But when you have, we went from players jumping over cars, jumping over 7-foot tall athletes, jumping over Shaq, to Jaylen Brown jumping over a 5'3" Twitch streamer who is sitting in a chair. And did he even make that dunk? I can't even remember if he made that one.
He made it, and then he dabbed right after it.
So yeah, but I don't want to take all of the dunking points. Speaking of the dunk contest, Keebs, you said you had some things you didn't like. One thing I'm happy about is the banner that the Pacers can finally hang. I'll talk about that in a second. But Keebs, what were some of the other down points in this wonderful weekend?
I mean, we're at 10 minutes now, so I can vocalize How the fuck does Jacob Toppin do a 360 through the legs dunk and get eliminated after the first round, but Jaylen Brown jumps over a 1'5" midget there and goes to the finals? It just doesn't make sense to me. That being said, maybe there's a formatting change that would have to happen with the dunk contest, or maybe get some better judges. I don't know. That'd be a good one. But outside of that, I mean, there was no defense even played in the fourth quarter when they're normally the All-Star game. Record setting 211 to 186, which, I mean, I'm kind of happy about. I had the East money line and East minus 19.5 at one point. So good on that. But outside of that, it's just like you got to make it more competitive. You have Dr. J in the locker room telling you guys that to make it more competitive right before the game, and then you go out and give that disgrace of a All-Star game. So that being said, Brunson had 12 points.
But we had half-court three-point shots, Keebler. And I want to quickly address Kenneth's comment here. Tyrese didn't win MVP because there was collusion, damn it. You know why? Because the Milwaukee Bucks are still salty is why. I've seen footage. I saw the highlight. There was a play after a West basket where Giannis kind of cuts off Halliburton from receiving the inbound pass and points directly to Dame Lillard, kind of forcing the action the other way, which is hilarious, honestly. I'm not really that mad about it, but God damn it, I'm mad about it.
He's not happy, folks. He is not happy.
He is not happy at all.
We already have to resort as a Pacers franchise to hanging up a banner for winning the skills competition, because that's probably that and Central Division championships are really the only kind of things that the Pacers, maybe if we make the Eastern Conference Finals, they might pull a Colts and, you know, Eastern Conference finalist banner. But God damn it, Milwaukee, you want to beat the man, just beat the man. All right, don't be pulling this weak shit where you got to cheat him out of his MVP at home. It was bullshit. That's it. I'm gonna settle down for a minute.
He's not happy, folks.
Oh, I knew it was coming. All right, so we'll hop back into
gotta just talk about it.
Yeah, of course. We'll definitely hop back into some more of the All-Star talk, because I'd love to brainstorm on some ideas for how we could fix it. But we talked about this pregame. There's a whole bunch of layers to the JJ Redick thing. So JJ Redick had some comments about Doc Rivers that then Pat Bev had some comments about, which I think led to that incredibly intelligent man named Nick Wright having a lot to add to a conversation as well. So, James, you want to give us the rundown? I have not heard the inciting comments.
Let's get JJ's comments.
I've only witnessed the aftermath, which is hilarious. Pat Bev, I mean, have you ever had a guy who, like, you want to just shut up, but also kind of can't stop watching? Is that what?
Yes,
is that
him.
like
it's him.
Stephen A. Smith is too. I mean,
no, Pat.
I was gonna say I shut Stephen A. out a long time ago until he came back into my life with all these Pokemon takes. God damn it.
Okay, I've got it. So, Doc Rivers' comments were, taking over the Bucks job has probably been more difficult than I thought. He was talking about taking them over right before it might have been a 3-game road trip. Just making excuses. And then this is an exact quote from JJ. I've seen the trend for years. The trend is always making excuses. Now, remember, JJ played for Doc for 4 years for the Clippers, 2013 to 2017. Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. Just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player. We get it, but it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus. They lose to Memphis. Oh, it's his players' fault. Memphis was playing G League guys and two-way guys.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he goes, then you look at his quotes over the weekend. Now he wants to take credit for the James Harden trade to the Clippers working out. He wants credit for that. There's never an accountability with that guy.
Yeah.
And that's when Pat Bev came out to social media to defend Rivers, saying this man, Doc, actually saved your career, started you when nobody else wanted to. and you retire to go on TV and say that.
I love that he openly
Yeah,
said,
then
I even
JJ
asked them to wait.
yeah, it's
Don't say
wild.
that out loud, coach.
It's so pathetic. Then
He's
JJ came
unhireable
back.
after this.
Pat, my guy, had a 4-year offer with player option for the same money to be a starter for a different. Fuck out of here. Saved my career in quotations. I am all on JJ's corner on this, right? On everyone. Doc makes excuses every chance he gets, and he did not fucking save JJ's career. JJ had an awesome career and was stellar after him and before. Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
I think Pat Bev's just trying to kiss ass for some more minutes. I think that's what it comes down to.
Probably, yeah.
What? No way. Not Pat.
Just crazy shit, man.
You know, guys, while we're talking about this, here we go. I have the Nick Wright take of it all. So let's get this over here.
Yeah, then there's a Nick Wright take in there. Like, I don't know who Nick Wright is. I think you guys, Kev,
there's always a Nick Wright take. I don't know if you saw the video.
Yeah, Nick Wright.
It's the video of Travis Kelce at the Super Bowl parade where he's just like dapping him up and just hugging him like constantly. I don't know if you saw that video, but
Oh, I know, but I'm not surprised. And so here we have the which James already read this one, so I'm going to pull up the other one. Looks like we got a little freezing going on here on my end. So there you can see that I can do a video on my podcast, all of this. Okay. So you already heard that quote. I'm not going to reread it to you. And here comes Nick Wright. I totally understand folks who aren't into televised sports discussion debate. It's not for everyone. I will never understand someone who is incredibly wealthy, opts into working in the space, and then simply uses the platform to complain about how useless / dumb the space is. Now, guys, I will have you know that Nick Wright is an expert on all things dumb and useless. So there should be some weight to his take here. Any thoughts? Are you guys team JJ or team Nick Wright when it comes to your sports content?
Yeah,
I'd love to hear from the chatters on this too.
Team JJ. I don't even know who this fucking clown is. Team JJ all day. I love JJ Redick. He's for one, he's an all-time 2K player. All-time, get him on my team every chance I get. Two, like, he's right. And then just fucking, this is just stupid. This is just dumb.
Yeah, Nick Wright, one of the biggest talents on the Fox Sports. What is it, FS1 brand? So that just kind of speaks for itself. So I'm not going to add any of my commentary. I think I've said enough so far. But you know who else isn't really doing anybody any favors? We talked about the JJ Redick side of all this, guys, but you know, Doc's going to have a real hard time coaching anybody when his best player doesn't even watch basketball. Apparently, this one's nuts to me. Giannis, pardon me. Sorry, I had to get that right. I just, in general, do not watch basketball. I love when I go to the game and I have no idea who I'm playing or what they do. And Mike Budenholzer got fired. They're about to be on their 4th head coach, and this dude still won't watch tape.
I don't know if I believe that quote.
I X'd out, right? Can you win an MVP and just like show up and just
I don't
bully
think so. I just don't believe that's true. I don't.
Hot route fans know.
I don't know if I can believe it. Like I don't know, man. I press X out. I don't know.
Oh, I love it. Keebler, what about you? You believe this?
I mean, like, yes and no. I feel like if you have a very big matchup against Tatum, you're going to watch film on him. But I don't know if he was specifically talking about film or if he's talking about just like in his free time. Because like watching basketball in your free time is different than like having to watch film for practice and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So if he did mean in his free time, then I could definitely believe it. But If he meant like just watching film and tape and stuff like at practice and things like that, I don't believe it.
I can't believe it.
I kind of agree with Keebler on that one because you know who else I don't think watches anybody else play on ESPN on his free time? Jokic. That dude is not spending any
He's watching horse
more
racing.
time. Yeah, he's not watching basketball if he doesn't need to. But you know, so maybe that's what it is. But also, like John says, it weirdly kind of tracks because you know, here's Giannis, here's a guy who's won multiple MVPs but still can't shoot a free throw to save his life. So like that, he just kind of gives off a vibe that with him being 6'10" and this freak athlete that he just feels like that 8th grader playing with a bunch of elementary school kids on a small rim that he's just dunking over everybody. So I don't know, maybe he's gotten by just on his freakish athletics alone, but to anybody who wants to join the Press X to Doubt crew with me on this one, I would have you just go look at the first couple years of Giannis's career and see the kind of player he was when he first got drafted. There's just no way. Like this dude has improved his game so much despite the guys who are pros that can't make free throws. I'll never understand it, James. I will never understand it in my life. You've coached before.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing to do. Like, just shoot more free throws and warm up. Stay for a half an hour every day after practice and stay till you make a couple. It's not that hard, guys. What are we doing here?
As captain of the I Can't Make Free Throws Club, I detest. Your argument is not true.
Oh, come on, boys.
Bullshit. I could shoot 10,000 free throws and I still fucking miss 50%. Mental fucking midget over here.
I think it's a mental micro person now, James, but it's okay. I'll have ChatGPT write us an apology. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
How about Pacers fans counting to 10 on his free throws in the All-Star game? That's fantastic. See,
we love it.
I love this. I do love this Pacers Bucks rivalry that has been sort of thrust upon us now. So, before we get into any more All-Star takes, now that I've got our Discord pulled up, which I will throw an invite into the chat here momentarily once I get this damn tab pulled up.
Weren't there only like 3 free throws shot in the entire All-Star game?
Well, I mean, yeah, you got to play defense to get fouled, but Keebler, in another universe, Kevin Durant reveals his agent, father, and aunt all wanted him to join the New York Knicks more than anything. Would you have wanted Kevin Durant on the team more than anything? Would you still like him now if there was ever a path for that?
Yeah, in 2019, I really did want Kevin Durant on this team, and I know that he wanted to be here if it wasn't for Kyrie Irving probably chirping in his ear, "Hey, let's go play across the city." But thank you, Kyrie. I put the entire blame on you. But I would still take Kevin Durant even now with the roster that we have, the pieces that we have to give up while still keeping our team to be a contender. I would still take him in a heartbeat. He's having one of the most – since coming off injury, he's been much more efficient since before his injury. And I don't know. I would love Kevin Durant still in New York. I'd still love LeBron in New York. It's just these guys, it's hard when the media just always constantly uses like Knicks for clicks.
Yeah.
It's better. Well, maybe I just don't see as much of it. Lakers Twitter is a cesspool. So I from what I've seen, the Knicks corner of Twitter isn't quite as horrifying, but yeah, it's very similar. I mean, they're two of, if not the two biggest markets in the NBA, and they get a bunch of random stuff tied to their names for clicks. That's definitely true. So I couldn't help myself when I saw that one. I knew I would have to bring it up. And, that's not the most bizarre nor the strangest one that we have here, guys, because this one makes absolutely no sense And some of our audience, I believe Nate, who's in the chat, thought this one was downright disrespectful. Warriors.
He was not happy about it. He wasn't happy.
What? Hey, I don't know what's legal down there in Golden State, but whatever they're taking to go to sleep, if this is their dream scenario,
He took issue with the
want
fact that Draymond made the picture.
Agreed. Retweet that. Draymond should be out of the league, let alone still being used in edits like this. He's not. What is that? A big three?
Yeah, apparently. That is
Draymond scoring about as many points a game as Gordon Hayward right now.
Yeah, that is something, man.
Gordon Hayward. Did I say Gordon Haywood?
he deserved it.
Draymond's out here putting up Haywood Workman numbers. There we go. Pacers fans know what I'm talking about. This is ridiculous, right? If the Bucks fall short on their title goals, these rumors could go crazy.
Press X'd out.
Keebler, what do you think? Any shot Giannis even leaves the Bucks, and if he does, would this be a landing spot?
I mean, according to Draymond during the during some of the All-Star festivities, he was saying that he wouldn't trade Kuminga right now for LeBron. He wouldn't trade a bunch of the young pieces. So if we're talking like what pieces are you gonna give up to get Giannis? I get it's completely different in the fact that Giannis is
Podziemski. Or how the hell you say his name? Straight up.
Yeah, I feel like they should keep Podziemski.
One for one.
It's like if they're trading, they didn't trade Wiggins, did they, at the trade deadline this year?
Nope.
The Warrior. Maybe
you get Bullet.
But I mean, I don't see the Bucks giving him up unless it's for a plethora of first round picks,
10
and
fucking first rounders,
guys, and it's gonna be way too much for even the Warriors. You can't sign and trade Clay, and it's just I don't know. I feel like it's not really feasible.
I agree.
I do not disagree with you guys. I don't think he's leaving. So, but I doubt this would be the scenario that he goes to. Now, I almost forgot about another epic Twitter beef over this week. But before I talk about that, I saw Bite Size Vikes, our boy John, in the chat. So shout out to John. Congratulations to him on Mike Conley coming to terms, or at least nearing terms, with a 2-year, $21 million extension from the Wolves. I love that.
Great trade for them. That trade has worked out great for them.
Yeah, agreed. It's worked out, and glad to see him. He's going to be here for a couple more years. Fantastic. Now let's look at our other hilarious Twitter beef, guys. Now, I don't have all of the clips, but this all stemmed from Carmelo Anthony was on a podcast, and he talked about how when George Karl first came to Denver, he told Carmelo that he thought he was overrated and that he saw Carmelo more as a Detlef Schrempf, which, again, hey, Pacers fans, put some respect on our boy's name. But Carmelo didn't take too kindly to being called Detlef Schrempf, and then George Karl came back, and they've been tweeting back and forth now, getting a bit at each other. So you can see right here, Coach Karl 22 tweets, "Happy birthday to the champ,
funny.
The ultimate team guy, and the greatest player to wear number 15 in Denver hoops history." He tags not Nikola Jokic, but Carmelo Anthony in that tweet. So it has been going back and forth. I love a good George Karl Twitter beef. You get one of these about every season change, really. I think, he might be dealing with some seasonal depression or something. He's come out much like the groundhog now. George Karl is out to start roasting his former players once again on Twitter. Keebler, you love this as much as I do. You got any thoughts on it?
I mean, Knicks legend Carmelo Anthony, yeah. But no, I think it's just pretty funny. It's just pointless old guy beef.
Yeah, my favorite kind. I think that might be it, guys, for our Twitter updates. Should we pull up the Thursday slate in unusual fashion? It's one of the busiest NBA nights that we've had here on the Bounce in quite some time. So I can get the
let me
scores
pull it
pulled up here. What any games you guys want to look at in particular? By the way, fire away in the chat. We love hearing from you. Been pretty active tonight. Thank you. Shout out again to the Clout Route crew who have come in to say hi. You can see us on Tuesday and Sunday nights from 6 to 8 Eastern. Guys, any games sticking out to you while I pull up the scoreboard?
The Clippers are really pissing me off right now. But other than that, wait.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Am I stupid?
Well, no, I would no,
No, you're not
live, so I'm
stupid.
definitely
You're our
definitely
friend.
not gonna.
I just placed the same
let's see.
twice, but with different
Okay,
amounts.
El Stupido.
Hey,
I've done that before.
double down.
Let's see what we got here. Got the Suns getting beat by the Mavericks on the road. Doncic,
Yeah.
double. D-Book with 31. Celtics beating the NBA G League Chicago Bulls. Pelicans blasting the Rockets.
Hornets
Thunder.
Hey, the Bulls are only a couple.
Oh,
Bulls
couple
could make a
pieces
run,
away.
guys. Their front office has faith. Yeah, right there.
Clippers getting pounded by the Thunder.
And that's the bet I just took.
Pelicans.
Did you take the Clippers?
I took them plus 9.5 live.
Hey, there you go. I like that. I like that a
think they
lot.
won the fourth quarter, so I think it's
yeah, they're getting beat up pretty bad in the third, so maybe you'll get to fourth.
Looking at the Pelicans as they spanked the Rockets there. Did you guys see? I got to pull up the date. I don't remember what day it is, but a Pacers-Pelicans game got flexed into ESPN. They're actually going to be playing prime time. I think it might be next weekend.
I did not see that.
I can't remember who got moved out, but I think it had to do with the Grizzlies being one of the teams.
Probably.
So their pain is our fortune, Pacers fans. It's always small market teams eating each other, We'll never not get shitty Lakers teams on our national games.
And we had the Magic beat the Cavs. No Donovan Mitchell tonight. And you've got Lakers Warriors about to tip off here. 17 minutes. Spurs Kings late. Nobody cares about that game. So big time Thursday night slate. First night back from the All-Star break.
Yeah, 11-17 away Lakers. I think
both are 4-1 in their last 5.
What does that say? Golden State 6.5 point favorites. What do you think there, Keebler? I'm leaning Warriors, but I don't know about that spread.
Let me see on the old app that I love using so freaking much. I never trust the Warriors with more than an 8-point spread. I feel like the general rule of the Warriors is never take them anything higher than minus 8.5. So minus 5.5 at home, no Braun. I could see it, but last time that they played, it was a duel in double, triple overtime. So, I would go Warriors money line, but I wouldn't touch the spread.
Okay.
Yeah, 6.5 is quite
how I was feeling too. Ooh, Daniel says Lakers winning. I don't care. All right.
I do like the
not playing tonight.
I do like the Spurs plus 11 against the Kings.
Spurs plus 11. Oh, okay. You still think the Kings are taking that one down, right? You just don't like the Spurs.
Yeah, I think they'll win by 7, 8.
I love it.
Delusional Lakers fan hates the Warriors. We play good without LeBron.
Hey, I'm with you. You might have missed my rant about the Bucks earlier. So hey, I'm a delusional Pacers fan. I love it. As long as we own it around here, we love all that. Okay, so Spurs taking the Spurs at 10.5. All right, I like that. I might get one of those bets in myself, gents. And hey, while we're talking about betting, over on bitesizesports.com, Trevor has been running a daily NCAA total series. I don't know what any of that shit means, but they're hitting at a pretty nice clip. So go check it out.
Basically, he's from what I gathered, it's the amount of total points scored between both teams. So
it's over under, yep.
I guess he's using a model of telling what over and unders are good on college basketball picks, I think, right? Is that right, James?
Yes, that's correct. He's picking the over-unders, and he's got a whole model, and I don't know exactly what all goes into it. I just help him enter some information, and what did he go 12-4 yesterday, I think?
Yeah, dude, he's been rattling. He's at like 71%
yesterday.
over the last 4 days. So
yeah, he's been killing it. So
I just edit him. I just look for grammar errors. I don't know what the rest of that shit means. But hey, we got Daniel S is confident, guys. So I don't know. Take that. Take our Lakers fan in the chat. Take that with a grain of salt against Keebler's advice. You never know, because Austin Reeves' masterclass might just be on the way. He does say they play more free without Braun. All right, I love it. We'll see. Daniel's got the Lakers. I love it. Thanks for joining us, by the way, Daniel. We love having.
Thank you for coming on down, folks.
Love having the homies in the chat. Any other scores we haven't looked at that we still want to talk about? I got a couple more things on the old agenda for the evening.
I just really hope that the Clippers decide to win this quarter by 5.
Let's get an update here.
Let's go, baby. You got it. They're going to get this. Ooh. Also on the couple other things on the docket tonight. Gonna take a look at the second half, maybe do a little contenders or pretenders. But I wanted to go back one more time to the All-Star festivities. I have not had my fun making fun of this whole thing yet. So now's our opportunity to get in our last digs at the All-Star break and offer up any resolutions. I'm going to wait. Maybe I'll go last, whatever, because I feel like I've been very loud about what I would do at the All-Star game. So in fear of me being too redundant, I'll let you guys go first. James, we'll start with you. What would you do to fix the All-Star weekend in general? Talk about as much or as little of it as you'd like.
Just more skills stuff. Like, get rid of the All-Star game if they're going to do that. And I don't think there's ever any world they're going to play hard, which sucks because we got a little glimpse of it. Was at 3 years ago when the Elam ending and they played their asses off in the fourth quarter and it was awesome. Like, they're just not going to do it. Like, there's no incentive for them. It's injury risk, whatever you want to say. Like, there's no monetary benefit. Like, it's just, if it's going to be like that, get rid of it. The same with the dunk contest, man. Like, if we're not going to get big name people in it that want to do it, like, there's no point. And then, like Keeb said, like, you get Jacob Toppin who does a wild dunk and then gets scored just awful and is out. Like,
what's the point of even doing it at that rate?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind the All-Star game just being essentially like the All-Pro teams, where it's sort of you get named an All-Star, great. It's still an award, but maybe there's not necessarily a game anymore. Or Keebler, before I throw some ideas that I've just seen out in the wild, do you have any specific thoughts and things that you would want to change?
Well, I saw a quote somewhere, I forget who said it, but it's supposed to be a pickup game of the world's greatest talent, like, playing hard against each other. It's not supposed to be let Damian Lillard fucking let half court shots fly from 50 feet or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, and at this point, I don't really understand who the All-Star game is for. Like Fred Katz said, like he posted a tweet that was like, who's the All-Star game even for at this point? A lot of people were like little kids. A lot of people said people with betting problems.
And the tickets are expensive too. At an arena where
it costs like $1,500 to get a ticket. It's outrageous.
Yeah, normally to go to a Pacers game, you knock 2 zeros off of that. Granted, you're going to be up at the nosebleed. You can get tickets for like $17 to go see this team, and then it's $1,000 to go watch a bunch of people take alternating half court shots. It's just so dumb. So,
like, if you like star watching and being in the presence of celebrities, then yeah, like, cool, that's fun. But like, for people who actually genuinely enjoy basketball and want to sit and watch competitive basketball, the All-Star game's been pretty ass.
Yeah, I've seen a couple ideas that I don't know how I feel about. I've seen people say take the 2 All-Star teams, go right back to that draft, but do it as 4 teams. and just play shorter games that way and have it be some sort of tournament with a cash prize. Now, I will say I was proven wrong with the in-season tournament. A lot more players cared about that than I thought. But my thing is what kind of cash bonus would all-star players need? Most all-stars are already getting paid pretty well. There may be a couple, like I could see you doing that for the rising stars and then getting a much more higher level of play out of something like that. But I don't see how you incentivize these all-star level players to ever put more effort than what they're putting in on what is one of the few lengthy breaks that they'll get in the season. So I have said it before. I think this should be more focused on the G League, more focused on, Rising Star is the best format they have right now. I agree. I really think they just need to, keep the 3-point contest. Again, I'm only half joking when I say they should replace the dunk contest with horse. At least that could be a little bit more creative. I think you get rid of the celebrity game, maybe play celebrity horse or something. I have no idea if the celebrity game's worth it for anybody, but I would say continue with the Rising Stars, open it up to maybe more G League players, stuff from the Ignite program, maybe invite a couple of all-star players from Europe to come, do something like that. Bring over talented people who already will have a built-in incentive to come here and perform. And maybe you won't be able to sell $2,000 a ticket on these, but I can't even imagine. Was the arena full for the All-Star game? I can't imagine people will continue to pay those prices to go watch this level of entertainment for the All-Star weekend. It can't add up over time. So I would do something like that if it were me, or as you guys have said, maybe just call the whole thing off for a little while and just make it hey, cool, you made the All-Star team. Here's your plaque. Here's your award. We thank you. Here's your bonus. Nate has a hot take. All-Star game minus NASCAR All-Star race should go away. There's no point anymore. Of course, he wants the NASCAR one to stay.
The MLB one's a lot of fun to watch, in my opinion. I love the baseball All-Star game, but I can agree with all the other sentiment behind that message.
A celebrity game should be on an entirely different channel, like the Puppy Bowl. Yes, and a rule for the celebrity game should be if you played 12 years in the NBA, you shouldn't be allowed to come back as a celebrity.
I agree.
That's stupid.
I mean, not that it matters. He still played pretty ass.
Right? Yeah. That would actually might have been my favorite part. Lifelong, not converted Ron Artest hater. Sorry, Ron. If only he'd have cared about world peace in the early 2000s. My whole NBA fandom might have been different. You ruined my life, Ron. I'm not bitter. All right, guys. I think any final thoughts on the All-Star weekend before we move on to the second half of the NBA season? We look into our crystal ball a little bit.
Well, I'm looking at my stat sheet, and if anyone did the DraftKings Threes Day promo, I did it on the Mavericks Suns game, and it looks like there is 14 plus 18, so I get a nice little, at least, assuming there's more threes made, a $32 bonus bet. So
yeah, it was the $25 one, $1 for every three made. The $10 one I had was 50 cents. So I did the Celtics Bulls game, and they've got 29 threes right now with 9 minutes left.
14 and a half.
Yeah, so 14 and a half. Cool. Hopefully you get to 20 on that free bet.
All right, Nate, I'm with you on that. And see, there's an example of a proper incentive program to make your All-Star worthwhile. But I would love to hear from other NASCAR fans on this. Nate has the ability. He's like my NASCAR gatekeeper. I just kind of listen to what he says because I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to that stuff. All right, guys, when it comes to the second half, I'm going to pull up the standings here on my end, but I figured this could be sort of a last chance if you want to make any alterations to preseason predictions, we've got more than half of the NBA season under our belt. But with the All-Star game, it always feels like a nice opportunity to reset some expectations. So with the standings in mind, we'll get this pulled up here. We're going to play a little round of contenders or pretenders and see if there's some other squads in here around the league that we might just want to talk about and spotlight while we're here. Fire away in the chat if you have a team you'd like us to talk about and give our thoughts on. We would be happy to do that. All right, you guys want to start with the East or the West? Any preference?
Since we're, I think, all basically East fans, let's start with
West.
The West.
It is. Oh, what?
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm with you. All right. Plus, we got a Timberwolves fan in the chat. Might as well make him happy. So, there's a lot of teams that we can play this game with. I actually don't know. Ooh, Nate says, I think the playoff field is set. All right, Lakers will finish 6th seed. Okay, Lakers are the first name that OKC pretenders. I love it. Okay, so we've got a few here to start. You know what? We'll work from the bottom up. Let's do it that way. So looking, and I'm just going to ask this one generically. We won't go through all of the teams that are currently outside of the top of the 10. So everybody in the West who's currently out of the playoffs, if they started today, Keebler, any of these teams that you see as an outside contender, I'm just going to say it, between the Jazz or the Rockets.
Well, you're not considering the Spurs as contenders. That's pretty offensive.
Very.
I don't even want to mention these guys, but I mean, technically, the Jazz.
I don't think that they're a contender, but I can see the Jazz sneaking into the playoffs. Like play in.
Yeah, play in. Fair enough. Yeah, I could see. I mean, yes, the Jazz, I still think they had some moves they should have made a while back, but here they are in purgatory once again, flirting with the play-in. But what do I know? I'm just a Pacers fan. I only watched that movie for 20 years. My Spurs playoff pick might be the worst. Oh, Wemby is literally LeBron and MJ. That's right. With but with some of that Monstar,
stretchy guy
Armstrong. All right, moving into the actual play-in teams as of now, we'll start with the Golden State Warriors. James, are the Warriors contenders?
I don't think so. I remember they're 8-2 in their last 10. Though. Ever since they moved Kuminga over, they've been playing better. Clay coming off the bench worked well in very limited time. I don't think so. I just don't think they have the firepower to keep up. Draymond's liable to do something stupid and get suspended again. I don't believe in him. And I love him, but I don't believe.
He's out. Keebler, what about you? Are you done believing in the Warriors too?
Well, I first off, I just looked at the standings, and I'm pretty surprised that there's 10 teams with a winning record at the moment. That caught me off guard. But when it comes to the Warriors now, they're pretenders. I mean, Curry's had an unreal stretch of like 5-6 games, but outside of that, he's been not the greatest this year. Oh, he's averaging 28, whatever. For Curry, his effect, he hasn't had the effect that he has had on winning games this year, and I feel like there's more credit to give to like Kuminga, Podziemski, things like that for stepping up, like next man up mentality. But I don't think that'll fly against teams like the Timberwolves, like the Nuggets, like the Thunder, etc.
Yeah, I'm with you boys here. There was a time where I learned the hard way, even when the Warriors were in the play-in, that they could do some things because of Steph, but I agree with your take, Keebler. I no longer think he's got enough to do it by himself, and they just don't have they have some exciting young pieces over there, but they also have some stuff that's just not going to work. What was it? Daniel, I think, said that they play at a much slower pace than a lot of other teams up here that they'd be contending with. Yeah, and I agree. I do not think they are a contender. Lock them in. Warriors are pretenders. Now, this one might get a little spicy, guys, because the Lakers 30-26, 9.5 games out of first. Daniel is willing to bet, was that his house? Yep, bet his house that they will finish the 6th seed, which, could make you a contender depending on who's in that 3 seed when the matchup comes in. We'll go in reverse order this time. Keebler, are the Lakers contenders?
Well, Danny, I'll take that. I'll take that bet with you because you do have a nice house, so I could use one. But outside of that, no, I think that they're pretenders. I think that AD's too inconsistent. There's nights where he can drop 30 and 20, and then there's games drop 5 and 6. So with that being said, I still think LeBron's a top 10 player, but the same thing with Curry. I don't think he has the fuel to do it by himself to get you to a championship anymore. This isn't 2018 anymore, unfortunately. LeBron's my GOAT, but that being said, I just don't think that they have the firepower compared to like the top teams in the West.
All right. 19-9 at home, by the way, but 11-17 on the road. Not quite so good. James, what about you? Lakers, pretenders, contenders, what you got?
Oh, man. I think I agree with Keebler. Like, AD is just super inconsistent, man. Like, they could easily win the play-in, win a series, like upset. Like, they absolutely have the talent. Like, Darvin Ham's been weird this year, though. Yeah, I don't believe in him. AD's all over the place. Are they can they be healthy? They're one injury away. I don't know. Daniel does have a point. I mean, they did go to the Western Conference Finals last year. I just think there's better teams in the East. I mean, the top 8 is fucking good.
Yeah,
it's a
tough one. I'm over here looking at the injury report too, because I wanted to check because they've got some guys out that will be coming back. I know we haven't seen much at all of Gabe Vincent for the Lakers.
Yeah, he's within the next month. I think he's back. Yeah, I
so
agree.
he's
The
not
West is
expected
tougher this
to be
year.
ready by. Yeah, agreed. It is a difficult West this year. This one's a tough one because I don't think the Lakers are necessarily pretenders, because I think when you have LeBron, when you have AD, if they're both healthy, you're theoretically in every series that you're playing in. I think you have a shot. So it's really hard for me to get the word pretenders even out of my mouth in regards to this team. I will say I'm gonna hedge my bet by saying this. I don't disagree with Daniel that this team could be a 6 seed. I mean, shit, they're 3.5 games out today. So I absolutely think they could end up out of the play-in. But I'm gonna have to go pretenders as far as them. I guess maybe I should have solidified what a contender is before we played this game, but maybe we'll make sure we're all on the same page. To me, contender, you're getting to the conference finals. At the very least, to me, you got to be in the Final Four to have a shot at the dance. Maybe there might be some guys where to me, that's like where that edge is. If I don't think you've got a shot to play at the conference finals this year, in this case with the Lakers, I do think they have a shot. I'm just not overly confident with how the West has shaken out. For what it's worth, I didn't see these standings looking like this, though. So, maybe we have more surprises ahead. What is Jeff? Oh my God. Yes.
The Lakers are the hottest chick from your high school. Yeah, she was a smoke show, but she didn't invest in herself, so she's barely holding on to relevancy with just beauty as she ages.
Damn.
The gold and purple, folks. He ain't wrong.
Man, that's a good one right there, man. That was good. I don't know anybody. I don't have anybody like that on my Facebook friends list, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
That's
Kev.
very unique. Kev. I think that's unique to only you, Jeff. I've never experienced that one. No. That was so good. Okay, so the Sacramento Kings, boys, 8 games over 500, 7.5 games out of first. You all know how much I love this team. This was one of the few win-wins, a superstar swap in NBA history. You got Sabonis coming over from Indiana. Of course, Halliburton and Hield go to the Pacers. I love Sabonis. I love De'Aaron Fox. It's a good, talented, young team, but you already know what's coming. It's that big old. But I just don't think they've taken the same steps that, I look at the Timberwolves, I look at the Thunder. Hell, I even look at the Pelicans right now. I know it's only a game and a half, but the Kings were a top 3 seed, right, all year last year for the most part. And this year they're the 8 seed. And I don't necessarily want to say that the Kings have incredibly regressed. I just think the talent around them has risen up to a different level, and they haven't really risen to that same level with everybody else. So for me, as much as it pains me to say it, I have to give the Kings a big old pretenders label. Keep, what about you? Right? Shocking. I know it hurts.
Yeah.
With the Kings, I feel like Sabonis is a stat patter. And De'Aaron Fox, as of late, has not been good aside from like one standout game. He's actually been one of my favorite people to bet the under on his points. That being said, this is in the midst of trying to, pull yourself out and break out in the West in a very tight race. And you're just not performing to expectations. Malik Monk's been good. Keegan Murray, again, a fantastic shooter, second-year player. He's been good. But the guys that you need to step up and the guys that you need to win games, your 2 superstars have not been putting up performances where it should, where they're bringing you to win games. You know what I'm saying? So in the playoffs, if that happens, you're done. So I'm going to give them a fat old pretenders.
James, what'll it be? Is it a pretender sweep here for Sacto?
I'm not giving up hope on them like you guys. Not yet. I ain't falling into your traps. I'm not quitting on them just yet. I believe in De'Aaron. I'm going to give them they're going to be in the contender side for me. I believe. I'm a believer.
All right. He thinks that one of the clutchest players in the league last year will bring it back. Now, Daniel maybe will add the Dallas Mavericks to his contenders list. James, we're going to boomerang. We're going to start with you this time. What about you? Are you going to consider the Dallas Mavericks a contender or a pretender? Winning records, both home and away, for what it's worth.
Contender because of one person and one person only. Luka Doncic. They make the playoffs. As long as he's on the team, they got a shot. We saw what he did 2 years ago when they were in it.
Daniel likes the Gafford pickup. I know James has already done it once, but we keep the streak alive regardless. But Daniel Gafford, definitely on my all 2K franchise rebuild or, expansion draft list. Got to get you some Daniel Gafford. He's great those first couple years, especially if you're a pick and roll junkie like I am. Just a big old guy. But in the real world, he's pretty solid too. Keebler, do you agree with James? Are the Mavericks a contender? 32-23 right now.
Well, I'll preface this by saying that the Mavericks are my West team because of my grandpa. So I can definitely see this roster being a contender. I like the upgrades that they've put in since last year. I like how well Kyrie and Luka have been able to play off each other now that they finally get games or have a lot of games under their belt next to each other. Having the center depth that they do in Lively and Gafford is very productive. When you have guys who can rebound the ball like them, play more of like an interior role against teams that have guys that can only go in the paint, you know what I'm saying? So like they can stack up well with a team like in the East, like Milwaukee, if Milwaukee even makes it that far, or if the Mavs even make it that far. But when you have Luka who's putting up like a 35-point triple-double on the season, I don't think that you can count a team like that out, especially when your second best player is Kyrie Irving. We've seen what a team that has their second best player being Kyrie Irving can do, in reference to 2016. But I put the Mavs in contenders, and I'm gonna book it by saying that they make the Western Conference Finals.
Ooh, I like it, guys. Okay. I mean, I'm with you. I wasn't sure if I was going to be alone on this one, but I think we're all seemingly aligned here. And so I'm just going to kind of echo some of the things you guys said. When it comes to Kyrie and Luka, yeah, at this point, so far so good. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, all that stuff. I just personally thought that if it was going to blow up and not work and start to be toxic, that probably would have happened by now. So I am feeling more confident than I have in previous years about, Kyrie being in it for the long haul, being available when the team needs him. And as you guys said, an incredible clutch finisher, one of the best probably in clutch time at his peak, certainly. And yeah, with him and Luka, I agree with all of you guys. There's too much talent right there to not keep them in consideration for at least getting to the Western Conference Finals. And as John mentioned, they're a nightmare matchup for a team like the Wolves. So they could even be, one of those teams that pulls a Miami Heat or what used to be a Golden State Warriors back in the day. It used to be rare for an 8 seed to beat a 1 seed. Might start happening a little more with if the standings keep looking like this in certain conferences. It might not be that rare for an 8 to beat a 1, especially with some momentum from a play-in game going on. So I'm with you guys. I'm going to put the Mavericks in as a contender. We're going to go now to the Pelicans, and this one, while it also pains me, just like the Kings, maybe I'm just dealing with a little bit of PTSD here, guys. But as a wise president once said, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice." I mean, you can't get fooled again. So Pelicans pretenders for me. That's all I need to say about that. I hope they stay healthy. I don't really believe that will happen, and I also just don't know that they have all the talent, and maybe not all the talent in the world. They have plenty of talent to be a tough matchup for guys. I don't know if they have the playoff pedigree. When you look at some of their best players, they're not really all known for having some massive playoff outputs and actually winning series. I know Ingram can fill. You guys know how much I love Brandon Ingram. And we know Zion can do some special things out there. I like this team. I like that they're doing what I expected them to do a little bit more of last season, but no, pretenders for me. Keebler, what about you?
I was very high on the Pelicans coming into this season. That being said, I feel like even if they are fully healthy, I can't put them over like the top teams in the West. I think that Ingram's very talented. I think Zion's very talented. But outside of those two guys, I mean, you have Valanciunas, who's an above-average center for sure, and CJ McCollum, who's aging, but still playing pretty solid. But when it comes to making like a deep playoff run, I think that they're going to get burnt by some of the younger teams and some of the teams with a little more firepower. So, yeah, I'm going to put them as pretenders as much as I love them.
I'm with you. Looks like Daniel is too. James, what about you?
Pretenders. I never believed in the Pelicans last year. I still don't believe in them now.
Well, I knew you might be quick on that one, so we'll pivot right back to you with the Suns. I think we all know what the biggest question is, but what do you think, James? Is this team going to be able to pull it together for a deep run?
They're so top heavy. Like, they got stars, man. Like, I'll consider them a contender. If the big question is, can they all be healthy? They got dudes, but I mean, they're taking an L tonight. But I think they're contenders. They're just very health driven because they're very not deep at all. And Daniel says the same thing. Contenders when healthy.
Contenders when healthy. Keebs, you agree with that?
No, even when they're healthy, I think that they just have like a little bit of a talent gap between some of the top teams that I consider to be contenders.
Ooh, you know what? I'm with you on this one. Okay. This is the team for which I should say, at least when it comes to their top three, they have all the talent in the world, right? And I'm not questioning Kevin Durant when I say this. I don't know about Brad Beal's playoff capabilities because he hasn't really played a whole lot of meaningful basketball. But when it comes to Devin Booker, he's had some great playoff performances, but he's also had some other moments that have had me kind of question if he is that guy, if he's able to actually get a team over the hump and to get that title, get that dub. So, no, I don't think they have enough. And I also highly question their ability to stay healthy. It's been the best ability is availability, guys. So while I may agree that they're contenders while healthy, I'm just gonna slap pretenders on this one because also I can't have 5 contenders if only 2 teams to go to the Western Conference here, guys. Somebody's got to get cut, and unfortunately for me, it's got to be the Phoenix Suns. And now that takes me to the Denver Nuggets. We know for some of us here, it was always the Nuggets, but will it be the Nuggets again? 36-19, very impressive. 21-5. As you can see, they're not alone there. You look at these 4 teams at the top, guys. They all have, well, probably a few things in common, but that home record really shines out, really stands out. You win all those games at home, and wouldn't you know it, you're going to end up with home court advantage. And so considering that the Nuggets still have one of the best players in the league, I believe that they are still contenders. Don't know if they're going to win it all, but they're going to be right there in my book. Keebler, what about you? We already know.
Yeah, I don't think you can count a team with Jokic and Murray out when fully healthy. That's where I was starting to separate the Pelicans from a team like the Nuggets, who are very deep. They have a starting lineup that can shoot the piss out of the ball, number one. Murray, great shooter. KCP, finally a great shooter. Sorry, Danny, that might cut a little deep into you because he was not a good shooter for the Lakers. But what was I going to say? MPJ, Jokic, obviously the best player in the league at the moment. I always have to say that they're contenders.
Jamal, they're good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, James. I already knew what your answer would be, but you got anything you want to add?
2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. It was always the Nuggets, boys. I'll never back down. I don't need to say anything more than that. Repeat.
It was always the Nuggets. Now, this next one, guys, we'll see if I fall into the same trap that I fell in around this time last year. The LA Clippers, 20-6 at home, seem to have figured it out with their core of talented players. I don't know if I'd call it a big 3 or a big 4. Maybe we'll call it a big 3. We're not calling it a big 4, but at least I'm not. You won't get me to say it. Except for that when I just did that one. But you get it. I was just to explain it. So Clippers, let's start with you, James. We'll boomerang it back around. Are the Clippers contenders?
No, because I think they're an injury away from being dead. Arguments.
Okay.
I am not a believer in the James Harden-led Clippers. I'm out.
Oh, he's out. And for that reason, James is out. Keebler, what about you? Clippers, they got enough to do it?
I'm in the Clippers trap. I think it's going to be a Clippers-Knicks finals. I'll just say it now. They've looked very, very good since figuring out with Harden. Their bench also runs insanely deep. You have guys who can just, again, like next man up mentality. If someone goes down, I feel like they have. Obviously, like if Kawhi goes down, you don't have someone to replace Kawhi fully, but you have guys that can step up and hit shots when you need it. So then some of the responsibility would fall more on Westbrook, fall more on PG. But That being said, I just think that they are fantastic this year. So I would not be as the Mavs being my second favorite team. It's very painful for me to say that, but I think we're going to be looking at a Mavericks Clippers conference finals.
Ooh, okay, boys. This is tough. You know, for those of you who weren't here around this time last year, I said that the Clippers are probably the deepest team in the league. Looking at them again now, and they're still pretty deep. Now, of course, they proved me wrong last year. A couple of injuries turned that super deep bench into a couple of starters and a very short rotation. But call me a sucker, I guess. I'm gonna keep the Clippers as contenders with the asterisk that if George or Leonard goes down, I no longer think they're contenders. I think they, unlike maybe some other teams, they really if one of those guys goes down, I don't think it will continue to work with Harden and Westbrook. But for now, I'm very tentative. This is probably the one I'm least confident about. And this takes us into Daniel's Pretenders. Whoo, here we go. The Oklahoma City Thunder, man. All right. I love this young team with all the winning that they have done, and they may go right ahead and prove me wrong. I honestly won't be incredibly shocked if they do, but they are a young team. There are a lot of talented teams in this Western Conference playoff picture this year that have a lot more experience and a lot more playoff experience at that. And I just see the Thunder as a team that gets knocked out in the second round in a very tough, hard-fought second round. But they seem to me like a team that's having a great regular season that is going to just potentially run into a bad matchup and beat a team that's a little more ready for the playoff big time. So give me the Thunder as pretenders, gentlemen. Keebler, what do you think?
As much as I would love to say contenders, I feel like you said, I feel like the inexperience with not having, again, playoff experience. They're a very young team. Shea has been to the playoffs, in his career? I don't know off the top of my head, but it's
twice.
Very, very small amount.
Yeah, play in maybe.
And that's your top player. Chet's technically a rookie. Giddey's been ass. Jalen Williams has been pretty good, but outside of that, I feel like they're a fun regular season team to watch. But when it comes to the playoffs, there's just going to be teams that have too much experience that can outplay them, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm with you. They win games that they're supposed to win, and they've won a few this year, maybe that we didn't think they would win. But in the playoffs, you're playing good teams every night, and I think that will kind of level things out. But, James, you're the last call on this. What do you got? Thunder, contenders or pretenders?
I think they're a year away. I just think they're a year out. I don't think they're there yet. It's just, I think. So I'm going to say pretenders. I'm going to say pretenders.
Another sweep. And here we go. Daniel says the Wolves are the biggest pretenders of them all, just saying. Now, that may or may not have something to do with some of the things John has said in the chat. I don't know. It's been a lot to keep up with. But, James, we will start with you. Minnesota Timberwolves, we mocked it shamelessly when it wasn't working last year. I take pride in that. I stand by all of that, everything I said before, because we also did leave the caveat that they hadn't had a lot of time to try to figure it out due to injuries and all that good stuff. So what are your thoughts? Have the Timberwolves changed your mind? Are they contenders?
I'm going to give them contenders, and I hate it. I hate it for myself. I hate saying it. They're good, man. They're good. They're experienced. They've got high-scoring dudes. They've got playoff experience in Conley. I don't trust Cat as far as I can throw him, but Anthony Edwards is awesome. I'm going to go with contenders here. I really believe it.
Ooh, okay. All right. It's getting interesting here. Keebler, what about you, sir?
All right, we're not going to have a sweep on this one. I think that the Wolves are pretenders. I think that they've been outplaying their expectations, which is why people are saying that they're contenders. But on the flip side, when you have a guy who consistently clogs the paint in Rudy Gobert, you have Cat where you don't know how he's going to do that night. He's been pretty good this year, obviously, but I think teams are definitely going to find ways to expose the mistakes that those teams can make. Or that team can make. Sorry. I love Anthony Edwards. I have high praise for him. I think that his skill set is crazy similar to Michael Jordan's, except he has a better three ball. But that being said, I think that Conley's age is going to show up in the playoffs. I think that I'm not sure if Jaden McDaniels is back. Can I get a check on that?
Yeah, checking right now. Let's see. You big market bias bozos. Ooh, uh-oh. Oh, man. He is
okay, I think he's
feeling
back.
hot. Yep, back as played 28 minutes last week on Thursday.
Okay, so with him back, I feel like that helps you out a little bit on the perimeter defensively. But then again, I just feel like a team that has two centers running it. Obviously, Cat can be.
That does worry me.
But I just don't think it's serviceable in a playoff setting. So I'm gonna say that they're at tops, gonna make the second round, but I could easily see them being first round exits.
Man, this one is tough. Now correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I have one little thought before I give my take. Did the Nuggets, when they were done, and some of this could have been sour grapes. I know there's a lot of back and forth between them and the Lakers, but I feel like I remember at one point someone on the Nuggets saying that the toughest out for them last year in the whole playoffs was the Timberwolves. I cannot remember exactly what the player was. John, help me out if you remember that in the chat. It feels like something a Wolves fan would hold on to.
I think it was the Nuggets that said that was their toughest matchup.
Right. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I just couldn't remember what was it. If it was Bruce Brown or Jamal Murray. There we go. Yeah. Man, this one's really, really tough for me because when we started this segment, I'll be honest, I had them as a contender in my head when we started. My main thought being, I love Anthony Edwards, and they have Mike Conley. As far they're a little inexperienced, but they have Mike Conley. They have a lot of playoff experience when it counts. But then I also kind of stopped to think that, Mike Conley himself was on a lot of really good teams that never quite got over that hump. And you've got Karl Anthony Towns, who just for some reason every once in a while will just turn around and be a complete idiot. I don't understand him at times. It was Bruce Brown. It says, John, thank you. The Wolves have elite defense. They don't have the offense to get over it. And Daniel kind of touches on what concerns me the most is what happens in the playoffs if Anthony Edwards has a streak of two. If he has two bad games in a row, I think this team is done. Maybe it's not him. Maybe it's Cat, but you look at it's Anthony Edwards 26 points per game, Cat at 22, then it's Rudy at 13, and Naz Reid, Jason McDaniels, Mike Conley, they're all right there around 10. They're so close. I kind of feel very similarly about the Timberwolves as I do about the Thunder. I think they might be a year away. So I hate to do it, but I am going to go the pretenders route. But don't, John, it's fine. Don't worry. You got one. We got James out here. I would love to be wrong about this one. Can I say I would love to be wrong? Huge Mike Conley fan. Him playing high school ball in Indiana and all that, and college ball at Ohio State. And we all know, I'm the Anthony Edwards hipster, man. I've been making those Michael Jordan references since before it was cool. You know what I mean? I love me some Ant-Man, but I just don't think it's all in the cards for them this year. John, by all means, feel free to rub my nose in it later if that ends up not being the case. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We still got to do the East. I just pulled that up. All right, we'll burn through the guys that I really don't think are options. So let me just ask you guys, 7 seed and down. Oh, wait, no. We'll just start with the play. And anybody think that the Bulls or the Hawks are contenders? Because I really think we can skip those two.
I think that
No.
the Hawks fall out of the play-in, possibly, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they suck.
I think that the Nets, if the Nets can catch a streak, can probably push out the Hawks, to be honest.
You know, while we're here talking about the Nets real quick, at first, incredibly disappointed to hear that Jacques Vaughn had been let go. But then you hear that he was wanting to build everything around Ben Simmons, and it starts to make sense. So sorry about that. Sorry about it. And the Bulls, I'm not even going to entertain that. You know, just because they're insane front office for some reason thinks they have a playoff shot doesn't mean I'm buying into that shit. No way. Pretenders. Let's hit it. Number 8, Miami Heat. Right there in that 8 seed again. James, we'll start with you. Contenders, pretenders, what do you think?
Daniel's right. Can't count out the Heat, by the way. I've learned my lesson. They're contenders. They are contenders.
Oh, I have a feeling it's funny. I feel like I'm going to end up with more on the East side than the West. We'll see how this goes. Keebler, what about you? Miami Heat, contenders, pretenders, what you got?
I'm going to say that finally I can count them as a pretender.
Oh,
Jimmy's been hurt, and if he goes down, we're seeing it live, like how bad they've looked without Jimmy. So, that being said, I love Bam. I think he's a top 5 center in the league. I think Jimmy's fantastic, but when it comes to some of the talent in the East, when fully healthy, I think it's finally their year to not make a deep run, I would say.
I might be with you here, Keebler, but I have a little bit more of a conspiracy theory take. Guys, help me out. Last year, I know that the Heat had a good run, but the year before that, weren't the Heat like a high seeded team that underperformed in the playoffs the year before? I can't remember exactly what they did. See, okay, perfect. So the Miami Heat are in this weird San Francisco Giants of the 2010s, you know, that era where they would be bad one year and then win the World Series the next year. That's the Heat are on a very similar trajectory here. This is a down year for the Heat. Pretenders might be injuries, might be the fact that they traded away their very heart and soul Kyle Lowry. That part's a joke, guys. Okay, that was a joke. But no, the Heat, I'm going to call them pretenders, and we'll see. Maybe I'll eat my words. I'm stubborn. I guess I don't learn my lessons as well as I should. The Orlando Magic, 12.5 games out of first. You will probably hear some very nice things about this team from James, so I'm going to let him say them. It's a good, exciting young team. I'm happy for them that they have this good young team. Pretenders, though. Pretenders. Keebs, what about you?
They play insanely good guard defense. I'll give them that, and that's exactly what you need in the East. That's exactly what you need in the East when you have dynamic guards like Donovan Mitchell, like Damian Lillard, like Jalen Brunson. I'm just going down the list. So like Tyrese Maxey, like Halliburton. So, I mean, with that being said, they're still pretenders, but I do like their shots against teams whose best player is generally a guard, only because they do play elite guard defense. Paolo is also having an amazing year, but yeah, they're pretenders. Maybe in a couple of years when they get some more pieces, but for now.
Well, I don't know if Daniel's messing with me, but I like what he's saying so far. James, I know you've been the guy beating the Magic drum here for a while, so I want to give you your shot. What are your thoughts on them?
I think they're a year or two away. They have to pass your Pacers to get up there, and they're gonna have the Heat floating around there. I don't I can see them winning their play-in game, getting out, but I just think they're about a year or two out from serious contention. I think they need a little more time to grow and get better.
I love the take from
That's
Jeff.
good.
I'm very excited for
great.
Kevin Ollie to bring his middle ball screen only offense to the Nets. Oh, Pacers, Daniel's favorite team to watch this year. I love that. Well, I will. Well, I guess I think I'm up last on this one according to the order. So, James, you're first. Let me down easy. Are the Pacers contenders or pretenders?
Pretenders. Sorry, Kev. Just gave away Buddy for peanuts. Didn't do anything else. I love the Siakam trade, but
It's disrespectful to peanuts, by the way.
yeah, not it. Just nope. They're pretenders, bud. It's not it. Ain't it?
It wasn't peanuts. They only got the Cracker Jacks, and
Right. Like
couple
I just
of,
I
they
don't
didn't even
I
have a
don't
treat in the
believe
box.
they're fun. They're frisky. They're frisky is a good way to describe the Pacers, but nah, man, it ain't it.
Front runners, not even pretenders.
Yeah,
Oh,
I agree with Jeff.
Keebler, what do you think? I don't. I'm not even going to ask you to let me down easy. Our rivalry goes too long. So what do we got? Pacers.
I'm not even letting you down easy on this one. I've been saying that I think that the Pacers have a legitimate shot, depending on who they play, of making the conference finals. Their transition offense is just very fast paced, and I think a lot of the older teams or teams that aren't as fast are going to have a hard time with a fast Halliburton, Obi, like within that offense. Also, they shoot the hell out of the ball, number one, which is going to be hard for teams that lack perimeter defense, like the Cavs, like the Bucks. It really just comes down to how hard they play defense at the end of the day. Their offense, like Daniel said, their offense is more than enough. It just comes down to how many points that they can hold another team to. So wouldn't be surprised to see them in the conference finals. Definitely see them going to the second round. But I'm in the middle. I don't think they're necessarily a contender or pretender.
Yeah, this one's very, very tough for me. Obviously, I'm a homer. If you can't tell by the hat there, I moved out of the way. You can see my flag. And specifically for this segment, I also have my Pacers t-shirt on under here. All right. So it's going to be really tough. Kev's making me want to watch the NBA, and that's high praise. Let's go. Thank you, Noah. Shouts out to Noah in the chat. We really appreciate you, brother. Go. Y'all be on the lookout. Noah is he's got a movie coming out called Lonely Legend. Give it a shout. Thank you, Noah. Appreciate you being here. Pacers, though, back to the Pacers. Of course, I love my squad. Pascal's gonna be nice. I really, really wish that Buddy Hield wouldn't have been traded away for nothing, but also because they have guys like Nembhard, Naismith has done so well. Then you got Ben Shepherd, who can shoot the ball. You know, one of my favorite young pieces on this team is Jarris, who, you know, goes back and forth. You know, that dude's living out of a suitcase. He's, you know, some nights he'll play for the Mad Ants and play for the Pacers later. So, but I'm going contenders here, of course. Especially, I look at this 3-6 matchup right now. Especially right now, give me the Pacers over the Bucks in a 7-game series. They've kind of owned the Bucks so far this year, and I think they're in their head a little bit. But it really is, to me, it's matchup dependent, and I'm kind of cheating here because I'm a homer. I think this team can get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they're at least 1 year away from, and depending on what they do with those offseason moves. It sounds like Pascal really likes being here. So under the assumption that Halliburton and Siakam are there next year, with they make the right additions, I think the Pacers are real, true title contenders next season. This year, I think they have an outside shot to make a run at the conference finals. Absolutely. And yeah, I think because of how hot they can get and how quickly they can get out on the break with not just Halliburton. I know Matherin's had a bit of a down year compared to last year, but he's a good passer too. He'll have his night. These guys share the ball really well, And they're the kind of team that can beat you on a night where 8 different dudes just have 12 points or something. Everybody's just getting a little bit. So give me the Pacers, but with the homer disclaimer there. All right. So moving on, Justin Herbert is not here. But let's go to the Philadelphia 76ers. Keeps, who you got?
I think that they're a pretender. I'm still on the especially if we don't know when Joel Embiid's going to come back or if he's going to go down again. I feel like if Embiid does go down again, there's not even a shot that they make it out of the first round. But I don't know. The 76ers are a weird team. I love Maxey and I love Embiid. But outside of those two guys, like, obviously you have shooting, but their defense is great. I don't know. I just think that it's going to be the same story over and over again for the 76ers, where they don't have success in the playoffs. In the offseason, Embiid wants out, rumored to want out, doesn't get one out. They don't make that many crazy moves. But, yeah.
I'm with you. I realized I skipped myself in the rotation, but strictly for stealing Buddy Hield from the Pacers in the cold middle of the night. But no, to be more realistic, I just will believe it when I see it from Philly at this point. Whether it's Embiid getting hurt because he's trying to draw a stupid foul and his knee hits the ground hard and he's out. But for some reason, something will go wrong. It tends to always with them, unfortunately. Don't hate me, Herbert. I got to look out. Is he here? Okay. The Sixers play like dudes who are forced to live in Philadelphia. Jeff, that's great. James, what about you? Contenders, pretenders?
Pretender. It's Joel Embiid's health, and I just don't think he's going to be healthy. And like you said, the next injury could happen any moment. I don't believe with them. Pretender for me.
Oh, there we go. We're all on board there. So good thing old JH is not with us tonight. All right, James, I've put you in an unfortunate situation. You have to tell us what you think about the Knicks right before Keebler goes. So no pressure, sir.
I'll go last on this one because I might be a little long-winded.
Ooh, okay.
Contender. Make it easy. I'm just going to say it. Contender. I love what they did at the deadline. I think they've got all the pieces to pull it off. Now, also have got to get healthy. Randall specifically, but if they're healthy, I firmly believe in the Knicks. That's Daniel's right. Contenders. Like, I'm going to take it from Keebs, I believe.
Ooh. Am I allowed to pass? I feel like Jim Carrey and Liar Liar, and I don't know if I can say the name of, I don't know if I can say the New York and then also say contenders at the same time. Like I feel like I'm gonna have Soft. Convulsions here if I do it. So, this is probably gonna reveal my hand on an upcoming call. But yeah, give me the Knicks. I have a similar take with the Knicks and the Pacers. I don't think the Knicks are going all the way to the NBA Finals, but I have them as that contenders tier for me. Yes, Keebler. So there you are, sir.
All right,
the floor is yours.
Deepest team in the East by far. I really like the moves that we made at the deadline. I really like how well the pieces are clicking together. We've been able to see a team where shooting's been our biggest problem over the past few years, and now we're seeing Dante DiVincenzo light the floor the fuck up. Bojan, I think, shot like 7 of 7 from 3 tonight. Burks can shoot the hell out of the ball. Brunson is shooting over 40% from 3 this year. And our second biggest problem has been perimeter defense. And now we have the best perimeter defender in the league in OG Anunoby when fully healthy. So he makes up a lot of ground for when Randall doesn't play defense, for defense that Brunson can't necessarily play, even though he can hold his own. But rotationally, defensively, I feel like defensively we're the best team in the league. I don't think that there's any question to that, but it does come down to player health. Julius Randle There's a possibility that if rehab doesn't go well, he's going to be getting season-ending surgery on his shoulder. But if his rehab goes well, then he'll be back fairly soon. Having that All-NBA guy is going to be the difference maker. But given how we have, in my opinion, 2 starting lineups as your roster in Brunson, Dante, OG, Randall, Isaiah Hartenstein, and then Deuce / Burks, Hart, Bojan, Precious, and then Mitch. I feel like the team's just way too deep compared to other top teams in the East to not consider them contenders. I have a $10 bet on the Knicks winning the finals. So if that's what you're wondering, then absolutely.
Sean gets in at the perfect time. Thank you, Sean. Shout out. You know, my last little thought I'll add to that, Keebler, is Thibodeau has got to be beside himself trying to figure out how to give this many minutes, to spread out minutes among this many players. It's just got to be, God damn, man. What do you mean I can't just play 8 guys? Save your $10.
It's got to be breaking them.
God damn. And nobody likes that $10 there for you, Keeps.
It's fine. I mean, when I make 220 off of it, then just.
Well, then you'll have it. We've got this next one, guy.
I'm gonna do a $10 giveaway. How about that?
There you go. Yeah, we'll give away. Here we go to the Milwaukee Bucks. This may surprise some of you, but based on what I have seen over the last couple of weeks, the Milwaukee Bucks are unfortunate pretenders because Doc Rivers is the man holding the clipboard. And if this team wasn't going to have it figured out with Budenholzer, I know it wasn't constructed as it is today when they had Budenholzer. If they weren't going to figure it out with Griffin, I promise you, in my heart of hearts, I genuinely do not believe that Doc Rivers is the guy to fix this situation. There's too much talent in the East for them to be able to get by with this. You want to talk about how the Knicks shored up their weakest link at being a perimeter defensive squad? Have the Bucks done really anything substantial to address that on their end?
No, but they did make sure to get rid of their 2 best perimeter defenders for a guy who gives you 25 a night.
Oh, yeah, yes. The best defense is half-court threes. I remember my coach told me that in JV. It's the best defense, for the other team was for me to keep shooting those half-court threes. What do you think, Keebler? Reverse sweep for the finals. Keebler, are the Bucks contenders in your book?
I think for back-to-back years, they're going to be a first-round exit. I'll just leave it there. Keep it nice, short, and sweet.
All right, James, what about you?
Pretenders, and just like you said, it's because the guy holding the clipboard. Like, it ain't happening. He's too busy feuding with JJ Redick right now. He's busy. Like, he ain't got time to figure this team out.
Doc's going to go up 3-0 and then lose 4-3.
I don't believe at all.
And then find a way to blame it on Giannis on his way out, too.
And then he's going to be like, yeah, I didn't even want this job. Like, come on, guys.
He's already softened his landing. He said, well, I told him that I really wanted to wait till after vacation to take the job. I asked them if they could not do this, what am I supposed to do? Not take? This guy sounds like fucking Jay Leno. You're allowed to not take a job when you're a millionaire. You don't have to take every fucking job that's offered to you, pal. Sorry, we're at post 90 minutes, so the any filter has long since been removed. But we only got 2 left, so we'll power through here. James, Cleveland Cavaliers, contenders or pretenders? This one sucks. I hate this one.
I've said pretender on so many of them. I'm gonna go contender. Just Donovan Mitchell's been playing out of his mind the last month. He didn't play tonight, but I believe in D Mitch. So I'm going. Jesus, I say contenders. I'm going contenders with the Cavs.
Oh, we got Cav contenders from James Keebler. What do you think?
Pretenders. We saw them last year have like almost the exact same roster and then lose to like, this team right here. But yeah, I think again they're one of those teams that are really fun to watch during the regular season, but then when it comes to the playoffs, they don't necessarily you have Donovan Mitchell, but last year Donovan Mitchell barely showed up. And then you have the inexperience of Mobley, you have the inexperience of Garland, you have Jarrett Allen. I don't see the Cavs making it. I mean, the farthest I could see them is like second round, but I don't think that they're gonna be far at all.
Yeah, this was a tough one for me. I'm gonna end up just retweeting a lot of what Keebler just said. The main point I wanted to hone on was something that you touched on with Donovan Mitchell. I mean, yeah, their best player. He's gotten teams to the second round multiple times. Those couple of those Jazz teams, I actually, believed in a little bit. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe I should reevaluate those. But I just have a hard time picking this Cavs team to win it all. I think they're definitely I shouldn't even say definitely. I really like their odds based on looking at the play-in group now. I feel very confident that the Cavs get out of the first round. I think they are matchup dependent from there on out. I think they're another team that's still maybe a year away. So I'm going to go pretenders with the Cavs, and then we'll round it off the Boston Celtics. I hate to say it, I'm going to give the Celtics a contenders. I mean, they got home court advantage all the way through. They're 26-3 at home. Believing in the Jazz puts you on an FBI watch list. That's fair. That I got nothing for that one. Keebler, bail me out. What do you think about the Celtics?
I think that the Celtics are very starting lineup heavy. And if they're going to resort to the tactic of running their starters 48 minutes a night, their ship is going to Titanic pretty early. Yeah, they have Peyton Pritchard. They have Sam Hauser. They have Al Horford. Outside of that, if that's your bench, you're going to face a lot of problems. Al Horford being aged, Peyton Pritchard being inconsistent, and Hauser only being able to shoot threes and not play like a defense. When it comes to Jason Tatum, obviously he's the top 5 player in the league. Jaylen Brown's on a $300 million contract to only use his right hand. Derek White has had a good year. Drew Holiday's been in a decline. Porzingis has had a good year. I feel like it's going to be the same story with them where they come up short when the lights are bright. So that being said, I feel like they're still contenders, but I don't see them making the finals this year. And I see them probably, if they run into a fast-paced team like the Pacers that can put up a lot of points, if they run into a team like the Knicks that can play very well defensively and are very deep, I feel like they're going to run into a lot of problems. But everyone says they're the best team in the league. No, they're not. So,
well, all right, I like it. He's very thorough with the feedback. James, do you agree or disagree with Keebler on that one?
100. They're absolutely contenders, and the Nuggets showed it last year in the playoffs. You don't need a deep bench to win it. Rides 6 deep, studs. You can win the whole thing. I don't believe in their head coach now, but I do think I believe the players. I'm a Kristaps believer. They are absolutely contenders.
There you go. Well, I'm with you. And we are encroaching the 2-hour territory, so I'm going to get you two out of here. I appreciate you for bearing with me. That ran a little longer than I thought, but goddamn, I had fun doing it, and it looks like the chat had a lot of fun too. So we appreciate all of you guys who tuned in, especially those of you who are right here at the end, and we'll try to get through our where can they find you quickly. So I'll start with Keebs because I know his is the quickest. Keebler, where can the folks at home find you?
Right here.
Boom. At the Nick Stop on Twitter /X and Instagram. James, What about you, sir?
You can catch me outside of here on our sister station Dweeb talking Star Wars. We've got a special Friday episode tomorrow talking about the premiere of The Bad Batch because I wasn't able to go live last night. Otherwise, you can catch me every Thursday here with Kevin Keebler talking NBA.
Thank you, sir. And once again, shout out to the Clout crew that showed up. You can find me on the Clout Route Tuesdays and Sundays from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Talk about scammers, grifters, and, well, Kai Cenat, actually. We talk about that guy every once in a while. And you can also find me with James on Dweeb, where he has already mentioned it. Carnage Media, the Carnage Unleashed podcast, is moving from Mondays to Wednesdays. So soon I'll be pulling double duty. We've got Carnage Fight Series coming up Saturday, March 2nd. I can't wait. I'll get to call that. That'll be 2 days at the Combine for Bite Size Sports, then doing some color commentary for kickboxing. So you can find all of that good stuff, Carnage Media on YouTube. So there we have it. Of course, bitesizesports.com. Check out our betting articles over there. John, who's been in the chat, has some articles, some NFL articles out. He's got some more stuff coming out. Josh has some stuff coming out. I'm going to be writing some more hoops articles. So, again, thank you all so much for tuning in, making us a part of your week. We will leave you with one last ad because, well, hell, why not? We thank you again. Oh,
and also shout out to the Sons of Mavericks for getting me a $34 bonus bet.
Ooh, shouts out to the Sons of Mavericks. All right, folks, we will see y'all next time. Peace.
Sports.
Are you looking for an energy boost without the jitters? Let our friends at Dubby Energy help you with their fantastic selection of flavors. Just visit www.dubby.gg and use the code BITESIZESPORTS at checkout for 10% off your order total. Again, that is www.dubby.gg. Code BITESIZESPORTS.